What is going on, everybody? Back at you again with another episode of this Move the Chains podcast with the man and your host of this hour, Sam McIntyre. I'm feeling nicey today. I just got my new t-shirt, Stone Cold vs. Undertaker. Woo, woo! Let's go. Stone Cold some beers, baby. I'm ready. There's more content coming in. I can't wait for more WWE stuff. Ever since that Vince McMahon doc, I've been hooked. It's like Tiger King. I saw a tiger, and a tiger saw a man. Okay. So after that little monologue that I just had, and I had to show off my t-shirt here, crazy stuff happened today. I usually do my reaction to the Raiders after every week, whether they win or lose. Tom Brady's a minority owner of the Raiders. Holy shit! What the hell? It came a long way since the Tuck rule. That triggers me as a Raider fan, but it is what it is. It happened. It's back in the past. If you told me Al Davis was still around and you said Tom Brady's a minority owner, I don't know how I would act. You'd be like, holy shit, okay. So I got my thoughts on that. I think there's some light at the end of the tunnel for the Raiders. And then today I saw something with Pittsburgh that just boggles my mind. This is why I can't take them seriously in a loaded AFC. So my first take. So I always do this every week, like I just mentioned. Raiders reaction after that Steeler game at home. Listen, man, that was bad. I mean, I was so hyped. First drive of the game. I had my buddy Andrew, who I met in Detroit last year. I follow him on Instagram. Shout out to Andrew. I love you, bro. Raider Nation till we die. We were texting back and forth, DMing each other. That first drive, which we do all year long, Raiders were bang, bang, bang. I love the creative play calling by Luke Getsy, who's gotten a lot of scrutiny, including me. But he looked good. I mean, that first drive was just bang, bang, bang. Brock Bowers getting the action, running the football. Jackson Powers-Johnson leading the way on the offensive line. They look dominant. And I'm sitting in my head going, okay, let's make this going. And then it just unraveled and snowballed really fast and really quickly. TJ Watt is just a star. I mean, come on. That guy is just unblockable to me. I didn't get the game plan for the Raiders. He put some guys on him for crying out loud. I mean, come on. He's Aaron Donald in his prime. He's unblockable. So you got to do something. You got to manifest some way to not let him ruin the game. It's like Luke Kuechly in his prime. He's a red dot guy. You can't let him ruin the game. So I didn't think the Raiders did a great job in that department. And they got kind of sloppy. The penalties have been such a huge new juice with the Raiders because they've been so penalized for so many years. Tonight on the treadmill, as I was finishing up my Curls for the Girls back and by workout, I watched the NFL throwback of Buccaneers-Raiders in Raiders-Buccaneers in Tampa 2016 when we had the NFL record, shocker, what else is new with the Raiders at that time, with 23 penalties. I mean, it just was outrageous. I'm sitting there on the treadmill like cheering, yeah, and everybody else looking at me like crazy. That's how crazy of a fan I am. But it just, and I kept like going, Jesus, dumb football, stupid football. And lately with the Raiders, ever since Antonio Pierce got that interim job last year, I'm sitting in my head going, okay, this is new. Like maybe the Raiders wake up and get out of this fucking dump we've been in. And then Sunday I resorted back. And the last couple weeks I've kind of noticed that it's gotten sloppy again. So they got to fix that. I don't know what's going to happen. I do think this weekend is a big, big game for the Raiders. I know Sean McVay off a bye. He's an offensive coach. They got some new wrinkles in, like Andy Reid. So we'll see. Maybe the Rams are rested. I don't know. I feel like they're getting healthy at the right time with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp coming back. So we'll see how that game goes. I'll give you my predictions throughout the week, like I always do. So I do think the Raiders, this is a must-win for them. They got to win this week. Because if you go 3-4, again, I don't know how the season's going to go out. It's getting tougher near right now because I think you got the Chiefs in Vegas. And you've got, obviously, the Bengals coming up. I'm trying to go to that game. Hopefully I can. Because I'm trying to hit all 32 NFL stadiums. It's my life goal of mine. And I want to do that. So, back to the game, obviously. So, listen, I'm not taken aback by Steelers. They're not a great team to me. I'll get to them in a second with the, Jesus fucking Christ, the Mike Tomlin nonsense I keep hearing every fucking year. I'm tired of it. Okay? I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. This just proves to me, and I'll get to them later, why I can't buy into them. It's like the God Hopeless, George Carlin, R.I.P. But I want to get back to the game. The Raider game, just the game itself, was pathetic, uninspiring to me, and just lifeless. But I've seen this movie I need to put like the clown beep 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 like the clown emoji. I mean, it just is a freak show right now. And I don't know what you do. But you gotta do something. And listen, I suggest this to my dad, like sell the team. If I'm the Raiders, sell. Because I'm walking at Washington. They sold. Look at them. I sold somebody this the other day. They look vibey. There's a juice and there's a life and they're vibing and yeah, let's go. Woo! And like Detroit for years. I was in Detroit last year for the game, and they just felt like Sheila Ham finally just let the people that football know, let them control shit, and then we'll just worry about everything else. And you're seeing, obviously, with the Lions, they look like a juggernaut. And they might represent the NFC. Who knows? Shout out to Mike Katz. I'm hoping the Lions do it for you, brother. I love you. And I'm hoping so. And Washington's going to be a playoff team. Like, they might win a division now. Because Philly's kind of reeling. Giants, they're no pushover, but they're far away. Remind me of Seattle. They're right there. They're close. I love Dayball, the coach. We'll see. And Dallas just a mess. So Washington's going to win the division, I think, in my opinion. We'll see how the games go out near the end of the year. Obviously, when they play each other and they cannibalize each other like it's crazy. So we'll see. But I just feel like the Raiders, if they sold and got the right person that could just buy this team, like Washington, watch out. Because now I'm going, okay, now you got something. But I want to get to the game again. That home crowd, I can't believe what I saw. Now, again, Steelers travel well. They're like the Packers. They travel well. That's no doubt about it. And Raider Nation, I know you. I love you. But I'm telling you, that was the difference to me. And again, I was out in Oakland 6 years ago with my dad. I love you, Dad. That was a great trip. One of my favorite memories of all time. I share it every time on Facebook. Every year, I just reminisce to it. That atmosphere in Oakland, the black hole, Gorilla Mark, I got to shout out to you, brother. I follow you on Instagram. You're the man. I love you. And shout out to Autumn Wind Productions. Brian, you're the man. I've met you. You're great. I'm on YouTube, by the way. I'll post that video up sometime soon. My point is, that vibe in Oakland just is unlike anything I've ever been a part of. It almost reminds me of Kansas City or Detroit that I've been to, obviously, the last couple of years. But you can't rip up. The Vegas thing, listen, I get you leaving. There's a lot of crap going on. I don't want to get into politics with the governor of California, all that nonsense. But I will say this. You can't replicate that vibe in Vegas like you did in Oakland. Because I couldn't believe the sea of yellow, shit-stained towels I saw in Vegas this past weekend. Sickening. But hey, give credit to Pittsburgh. They kicked our ass. Listen, Raiders from here on out, you got to do something. Now, did the quarterback change help? I don't think it did. I've been out on Aiden O'Connell. I don't think he's it. I think there's moments with him. But man, Raiders, I'm going to say it once. I'll say this every week. I was thinking about what I was going to say when I got on here. You have to take a quarterback. I'm not waiting no more, damn it. I've seen enough of Gardner Minshew. Uncle Rico, I've seen enough of Farva from Super Troopers. I'm done. I've seen enough. O'Connell, yes, he can stretch the ball down the field, and there's more of a poise and a pocket to him, to me, than Gardner does. But Gardner's got this kind of Baker Mayfieldian, Farvian swagger to him that guys love. And I'm trying to find out where that Gardner was against the Ravens, that ignited them to get that upset win in Baltimore. Where's that? Because I haven't seen it lately. Now, I don't know what's going on. I've read some reports that maybe Max Crosby leaves. I got news for you. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, crazier shit has happened, but I'm just telling you, listen, you could give up the farm for Max Crosby. If I'm Detroit, depending on how long that Aiden Hutchinson thing is, and I don't know. I know it's a few games. I know it was a fibula, but it was such a gruesome injury. I think he's out for the year. I'm not sure. I heard a couple games. We'll see. Now, and I think the Lions, Crosby obviously goes back home because he went to Eastern Michigan, obviously, the field name after him. You can give up 2 firsts for him, and I think the Raiders, I wouldn't mind that. But at the same time, he's your best player. And I get the losing, but he has got it repped silver and black like I have right here. He's got it on his body. I think he's a Raider, and we'll see what happens. So I wanted to get in. That was the game, and I always do that every week with you guys with my reaction. So we'll see what happens with the Raiders. They got to start. They got to start winning. The schedule gets brutal. The bye week does come soon, though, so we'll see what happens. The biggest news of today that I heard about was Tom Brady. Holy shit! Is a minority owner for the Raiders. Whoa! Oh, The Sopranos. Oh, are you kidding me? Honestly, to me, this is light at the end of the tunnel. Because now I think, and I had some time to think about this, Tom Brady being a minority partner of the Raiders, I got to be honest, I kind of love it. And then they brought Seymour in. Obviously Richard Seymour was a Hall of Famer, was with the New England teams, got drafted in 01 by the Patriots. That Hall of Fame pedigree, was with the Raiders for a little bit, did some dumb shit, the Rock'em Sock'em Big Ben punch in that 35-3 brawl in Pittsburgh 14 years ago. And he was a decent player, near the end of his prime, but looked pretty good. Had some moments like Warren Sapp. But I do think Tom Brady being a minority owner for the Raiders, I think works. Now, I'll give some reasons why. And if anybody after I've posted this video, subscribe, share, do whatever you guys want. I always say that at the end. And comment what you guys think. I think, honestly, if Tom Brady's a minority owner of the Raiders, I'm all for it. Listen, man. Tom Brady has accomplished a lot in his career as a player. And again, I'm somebody that couldn't stand him because he was winning all the fucking time. And listen, as a Raider fan, there's a couple games that trigger you. It's the Tuck rule. Now, I got to move past it. It's life. We got to move on. And we've come a long way since that game. But I will say this. I'm excited for what happens now. Because he's a minority partner. I think he's going to have a lot in the personnel in the operations department. They got to do something. Because, listen, I've been watching this team for 14 years. And I've not seen a lot of success. And there's a reason for it. You can go back to a lot of things. The Gruden, when he got fired after the Tuck rule, like I just mentioned. Al Davis, near the end, just got kind of weird and like a Jerry Jones vibe where it's too insular. A lot of Al's friends are in the house, coaching, trying to be GM owner. It's just a mess. The overhead projector with Al near the end, it just was crazy. But I do now you got to win. And again, in my lifetime, I've seen one playoff appearance when Derek Carr got hurt, obviously. It's unfortunate that year, and then it just fell apart. And then Derek got hurt, and then it just was change after change after change. And it kind of reminded me of Seinfeld with Kramer, the crazy Michael Richards. You never knew every week was a crazy new idea, and half the time I was like, fuck it, okay, I guess. My first take on the Tom Brady thing with the Raiders is like, fuck it, why not? What else we got to lose? We've been god-awful. Take out the 8 years, 2010 and 11 when I first started. Obviously 2011 was worse, I think, than the 2010 year to me. Because the 2011 year, we started 7-4, lost Campbell, lost McFadden, my guy who got me in love with the Raiders. And then it just was snowball, went 1-4 down the stretch with Carson Palmer. We cried in mid-season. And then you look at the 2010 year, which was a weird season. They went 6-0 in division, which is rare, and they missed the playoffs because they were 2-6 against everybody else. They beat the Rams, and they beat Seattle that year, 14 years ago in the NFC West, which was trash that year. I think Seattle won with like a 7-9 record. It was just weird. It reminded me of the NFC South 4 years later when Carolina hosted a playoff game against Arizona when Palmer got hurt that year, and it is what it is. So I do think this is light at the end of the tunnel for the Raiders. Now, Tom Brady, I've read some rumors. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. I smell something. Smell some bullshit. That he might pick the quarterback. Now, I'm all for that because if there's one guy that knows quarterbacks, it's Tom Brady. It's like if Peyton Manning was in my fucking house. I'm going to trust Peyton Manning with fucking anything I see. I can watch on TV and go, yeah, this guy's not it. But Peyton Manning could look at the film and go, yeah, he doesn't see coverage well. He doesn't do this. So I will say this every week until the draft. Dear Raiders, looking at you, Vegas, go take a fucking quarterback. You need one. I don't want to hear about waiting a year. Damn it, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's rock. Let's roll, baby. Stone cold stunner. I'm hitting it. Let's go. You need to do something. Because, listen, I still love Carson Beck. He's my guy. He was my number one quarterback coming in this year. I had a top 4 rank. I had Beck. I had Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, who's very underrated in my opinion. I had Quinn Ewers. If he could stay healthy, I would put him a little bit higher, but the injury concerns me. And then Shador. And then I didn't have a 5th guy, But the more and more I watch Cam Ward, I've said this, I like the 7-on-7 feel to him. He's got this vibe to him I love. Maybe there's something. So we'll see. But I'm kind of excited with Tom Brady being minority partner of the Raiders. At some point, I'm like, fuck it. Why don't we try it? Because nothing's worked at this point. We've been so inconsistent, so weird. We're a joke. And I love the Raiders. I'm just speaking candid from my standpoint. You need to do something. I can't, like, I'm going to watch every game. But at some point, you got to do something to change this. Because there was some momentum last year, the end of the year with the defense. And I've never been more proud of a defense in my life than the Raiders last year. Near the end of the year, you beat Mahomes on Christmas. Great win, by the way. I love that win. One of my favorites of all time. But you got to be more than that. You got to string it together. And I know this league is crazy. It's parity. I get it. But I said before, like Green Bay has won out of the 21 years. They've been 14 out of 21 years playoffs. They've been in the mix. Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo. Raider fans hate me saying this, but you want to become the Chiefs a little bit. I'm not saying with everything else, but I'm saying in terms of consistency, the Hunt family, Brett Veach, all the way down, it stems. Years ago, this was when the Raiders had Jamarcus and they were just a mess. Colin Cowherd had the quote, "It starts up the top. It's not the players, guys." Raiders had good players last year. But it's ownership. And Mark Davis, listen, he can do whatever he wants. I don't know him personally. I've heard from people, Middlecoff is one of them, that he's kind of not a meddler, not like his dad, but he'll kind of step back. He'll make the checks, but I kind of start judging, what have you done? It's been a lot of head scratching, like, I don't know. So I like where this is going with Tom Brady being a minority owner of the Raiders. He got a standing ovation today. Good for him. Tommy, I'm rooting for you. Get this Raider team back to relevance, damn it. I want to see that early 2000s kicking ass, dominating times. I need it again. I need that 2016 magic again. I need it. I'm craving it. So I'm hoping that happens. So my last thing I want to talk about today, I've been so worked up today. I got my new t-shirt. I'm feeling good. Payday's coming up. Payday. Woo, woo. Get some more apparel of this. Stone Cold, baby. So the last thing I want to talk about was I saw the Pittsburgh Steelers today, but it said something so fucking dumb. And I can't wrap my brain around this. You play Russell Wilson, who I've loved. But at this point in his career, like, I'm done. Like, I'm out. I've seen enough. It's done. You play him this weekend against the Jets? Now, the Jets, we can say what we want in their circus. I get all that. But this D-line against that O-line, we'll see. But I'm telling you, that's not good for Russell. He can't move like he used to. Sorry, he's not doing the spin around 360 tornado, spin and then find Doug Baldwin. Those days are gone. So, what are we doing, Pittsburgh? You got the hot hand. Justin Fields, listen, he's a flawed player. But at this point in time, he gives you the best chance to win. Now, I've been critical of Mike Tomlin. I'm so over. It's not even worth talking about at this point with Mike Tomlin. I'm done with them. He's overrated. He's like the Mike McDaniel a little bit, where everybody's hyping him, but he hasn't done shit. He's 5-9 in the playoffs. Come on, what threat did you have during you had an 8-year window? You smacked on the shitty teams in your division, which I grant you did. But what are we doing? You're not a Super Bowl team. Like every Steelers fan that thinks they are, you're drunk or delusional. You're not. Until you get rid of this fucking culture in Pittsburgh where it's just defense. Okay, that's fine. Chicago went through that for a long time. Baltimore did. But damn it, the league has changed. You got to go offensive. And I saw a stat. They're last in the league in offensive spending, but they spend all their money on defense. And I was thinking about this today. Well, Buffalo does. Yeah, and Buffalo's got Josh Allen. That helps. But, Buffalo's making moves. They're going to get Amari Cooper. They're going to get dudes. Where was Pittsburgh? You could have got Devontae. That would have made sense. Devontae goes from stable, shitty organization, the Raiders, I love you, to the Pittsburgh. Stable. So I just don't understand what Pittsburgh's doing thinking that Russell Wilson's going to save the season. What are we doing? Like, I'm sorry, play Justin Fields. Play him. What are we waiting on with Russell? Is he just going to turn back into Seattle Russ? Because that's been long and gone. You know, he had that 8-year window where he was killing it. That's gone. So, I don't know. Listen, that Sunday night game is going to be a absolute slobber knocker kind of a game. And I'm already picturing in my head, TJ Watt might go off on Tyron Smith, who's a great Hall of Fame player, but getting older. And Nick Herbig, UW, against, obviously against one of the other offensive linemen for the Jets. And also Alex Highsmith, who's a stud. So a lot of things that could happen in that game against Pittsburgh. I know they're in all-time 20-7 against the Jets, as I saw a stat today. But we got to see Sunday. Like I always say in my videos, subscribe, like, hit the share button. Hope you guys are doing well on this Hump Day Wednesday. And talk to you guys soon.